Hey everyone, Varalika here. I'm finally back. I know it has been a really long time since I uploaded my last video, but we can talk about that later. For today, let's just start with this really fun and important lesson. I hope you like it. Let's get started. So what we're gonna learn today is alphabet pronunciation based on alphabet placement. If you have watched my previous videos, you will know how alphabets are placed in Korean, and today we're going to be learning how alphabet pronunciations change depending on how they're placed. So let's get on with it. So the first rule for alphabet pronunciation is, if any of the consonants nian, miem, ing or dir are in the final consonant, and in the next initial consonant there's hiet, then the hiet gets cancelled. Also keep in mind that I will be giving you examples later in this video, but first we're gonna go over all the rules, and once we're done with all the rules, I will give you some examples to go with each one of them so that you can understand it better. The next rule is, if any of the consonants gyok, tigit or piep is in the final consonant and hiet is the next initial consonant, then the gyok, tigit or piep becomes kyuk, tiet or piep. Now, the third rule, if any of the consonants gyok, tigit, or piep are in the final consonant, and in the initial consonant there's gyok, tigit, piep, shiot, or jiet, then the gyok, tigit, or piep becomes sang gyok, sang tigit, sang piep, sang shiot, or sang jiet. Next rule, if there's kyok, tigit, or piep in the final consonant, and the next initial consonant is nian or miem, then the kyok becomes ing, the tigit becomes nian, and the piep becomes miem. Rule number 5. If any of the consonants kyok, tigit, piep, ing, or miem are in the final consonant, and there's lir in the next initial consonant, then the rir becomes nian. The sixth rule is, if there's nian in the final consonant and lir in the next initial consonant, then the nian becomes lir. Rule number 7. If there is tigit or tiet in the final consonant and ing in the next initial consonant, then the tigit becomes jiet and the tiet becomes chiet. And now it's time for examples. So examples for the first rule. There's two words. The first is an plus he, and the second one is ir plus he. So the first one means I don't do or I won't do, and the second one means I work. So in the first one you can see that nian is in the final consonant and hiet is the next initial consonant, and the pronunciation is ane. So you can hear that the hiet is not very fully pronounced, ane. I don't do or I won't do. And the second one, I work, ir plus he, ire, ire. You can hear, I hope that you can hear, the he is not fully pronounced, it's simply ire. It means I work. And it's the same for miem and ing as well. Example for the second rule. First one, chuk plus ha. This means celebration. And you can see that gyok is in the final consonant and hiet is the next initial consonant. So the pronunciation becomes chukha. K, the gyok becomes kye. Chukha. This means celebration. And the second example is this word. K plus ha plus tha. Kpada. This means urgent. And you can see that piep is the final consonant and hiet is the next initial consonant. And the pronunciation is kpada. Example for rule number 3. Number 1, bokta. So you can see that gyok is the final consonant and tigit is the next initial consonant. Bokta is a verb which means to eat. Bok plus tha. So as gyok is the final consonant and tigit is the next initial consonant, you can hear that the mok plus tha, the tha becomes da, bokta. And it's gonna work the same way if there's tigit or piep in the final consonant and tigit, gyok, piep, shiot or chiet in the next initial consonant. Next, example for rule number 4. So like I just told you, mokta is the verb form for to eat. But if you want to change the verb into a noun, which is basically, what's it called again? changing the verbs to nouns. Oh yes, verb nominalization. Verb nominalization means using a verb, which is obviously not a noun, as a noun. Using a word which is not a noun as a noun is verb nominalization. And it's actually pretty easy when it comes to Korean, and I think it's really easy for English as well. But since we're talking about Korean right now, 먹다 is the verb form for to eat, and when you change it to a noun, when you nominalize it, it becomes 먹는 것. So you can see the spelling here, and you can see that gyok is the final consonant and nian is the next initial consonant, right? So you can hear the change in pronunciation. It's not 먹는 것, it's 먹는 것. The gyok became ing. 먹는 것 is the noun form of the verb 먹다. Another example, and this is a pretty long one, it's 감사합니다. 감사합니다 is a phrase which means thank you. So here you can see that piep is the final consonant and nian is in the next initial consonant. So the pronunciation becomes m, 감사합니다. Okay, now an example for the fifth rule. I can't really think of a word right now, so I need to come up with one. Oh yes, this one word, 심리. 심 plus li. So you can see that miam is the final consonant and lier is the next initial consonant. So the pronunciation or lier becomes nian. 심리, 심리. This means psychology. Now an example for the sixth rule. 한라산. Han plus la plus san. 한라산. So nian is the final consonant and lier is the next initial consonant. So the pronunciation or the sound of nian becomes lier. 한라산. There's an island in South Korea called Jeju Island, and Hanlasan is a shield volcano on Jeju Island, and Hanlasan is also the highest mountain in South Korea. And now we're finally at the example for the last rule, the seventh rule. So the example word is 같이. 같이 means to be together. So when you want to say you're with somebody, you're together, you use the word 같이 in your sentence. So this word is kat plus e. So you can see that tiet is the final consonant and ing is the next initial consonant. So the pronunciation of tiet becomes tiet, 같이. Well, that's it for this lesson. I really hope you enjoyed and we learned quite a lot of new words as well. So yeah, I really hope you don't find these pronunciation rules difficult either, because this is not really something that you need to learn and like pressurize yourself to learn, because this is something that you could just notice while speaking or reading and your brain could just grasp it and remember it. So don't worry about it. It's actually pretty easy. Oh, and I've got a fun fact for you. Did you know you could be notified every single time I upload new videos? Well, it is possible, but for that you need to do something, and it's very simple. You just need to click the subscribe button down there. After that, you'll see a bell that is a notification bell. So you'll click the notification bell and choose the option that says all, so that every single time I upload new videos, you could watch it and never miss out on any of them. So that is it for today. Until the next time, I hope you stay safe and take care of yourself. Goodbye.